Welcome back, Super Brains. How's your memory? It's super. Now, yesterday we proved that, right? We went through and I taught you how to memorize the 10 keys for unlocking your super brain, the 10 lifestyle hacks. Now, did you do your homework? Did you teach somebody how to memorize those 10 keys? And do you remember them yourself? Let's do it together for a really quick review. Number 1, good brain diet. Number 2, killing ants. Number 3, exercise. Number 4, brain nutrients. Number 5, positive peer group. Number 6, clean environment. Number 7, sleep. Number 8, brain protection. Number 9, new learnings. And finally, what was number 10? Stress management. How's your memory? It's super. And that's part of what we're doing here. We're reconditioning ourselves to not only have the capacity and the behavior and the habit, but also just the belief that we could do this, because we already know that's important and it becomes really who you are at an identity level. I'm going to talk about that in a future lesson. Now, here's the key now. You did this with my office. Now, let's do it with the place that you're most familiar with, which is what? Your home, of course, your home, someplace that you're in almost every single day. So what I'm going to show you is a technique to be able to get 10 places in your home so that you can memorize future lists and future presentations or future conversations going forward. So let's do this together. Take a deep breath, exhale, and if it's safe, close your eyes. And the only reason why I have you close your eyes is it helps people to focus, right? No distractions. I want you to breathe normally. And I want you to imagine that you're standing in the doorway of your home. You're standing in the doorway of your home, and I want it to be in the first room, the very first room. Go to the first room in your home, not the hallway or not the mud room, the first room. It might be their kitchen, it might be a living room. Go to the first room. Now notice as you're standing in the doorway and you're looking around the room, there's a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff. You're like, Jim, I should have cleaned my room before I took this quest, right? Now what we're gonna do is you're looking around, and in this room, we're gonna find 5 places. Just 5 places in this room, landmarks, if you will. And in the first place, we're gonna put the first thing. In the second place, we're gonna put the second thing. In the third place, we're gonna put the third thing. Now, by the way, if you've ever found yourself saying, well, in the first place this, in the second place that, and in the third place that, have you ever wondered like where that languaging came from? That actually came from this 2,500-year-old memory technique. The memory technique is not around as much, we're bringing it back, but the languaging is still there. Because back 2,500 years ago, there was no external memory. There were no printing presses, there were no tablets, there were no laptops. You had to keep everything here, and this is how people stored information, around places. So let's do this together. I want you to find 5 places in this room, but here are the rules. I want you to go clockwise, all right? So go from your left going clockwise. The second thing is I want you to find unique things. So if there are 2 chairs that look the same, just pick one of the chairs. And the third thing is I want you to find large things. Like don't pick those knickknacks on the coffee table, pick the coffee table. And finally, what I would like to say is don't pick empty spaces. Like don't pick the corner of the room, that empty space, pick the lamp that's in the corner of the room, okay? With your eyes closed, pick place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going clockwise. So for example, if you're in the kitchen, maybe number 1 is the microwave, number 2 is the stove, number 3 is the refrigerator, number 4 is the dishwasher, number 5 is the sink. Do that now in your mind. So you're going through 5 places. Maybe the fireplace, the bookshelf, the television, the couch. And so what I'd like you to do is with your eyes closed, mentally walk into the next room, like the adjacent room, stand in that doorway and repeat the process. Go clockwise, items, unique, and this time find number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 5 more things, number them 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, going clockwise. Very good. You can't do this wrong. This is your home. And you're thinking like you might be doing this quest like with a friend or a family member and you're living the same maybe you even live in the same place, you'll find 10 different places. And you're like, Jim, I live in New York City, I got like a studio, and that's all I have, there's no other place. Go in your bathroom, go in your car. Okay, now if you're ready, open up your eyes, and what I'd like you to do now is take a piece of paper, and I'd like you to actually draw this out. Draw like a little box and say, this is my living room. And then in there, just draw like, hey, this is my couch. You don't have to make it like a work of art. Just draw another little box inside the little box saying, this is my sofa, this is my couch, this is the fireplace, this is my bookshelf, and number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then draw another box for the second room, and then do the same thing. Draw a little sketch and say, okay, this is my microwave, this is this, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you don't happen to have paper, I would encourage you to get it. Or at the very least, mentally just review, because these 10 places you're going to use for the rest of your life. Okay, pause it if you need to, otherwise finish up. Now you have 10 places. And what are these 10 places? They're filing systems. Filing systems. This is where you could actually store information. Remember PIE? You need a place, you need imagination, and you need to entwine those two things. So here you have 10 brand new places to store 10 brand new things that you want to remember. Now, by the way, looking back on what we've done so far in this quest, the sun list are places, right? Sun, socks, traffic light, that's 20 places, right? What else? Your body is a list of places. The top of your head, your nose, your mouth, your ears, and so on, those are places. My office, you could also use in the future as 10 more places. And so remember, there's 3 parts to your memory. There's encoding information, there's storing information, and then there's retrieving the information out. And a lot of people have trouble because they feel like they can't retrieve it. But you could retrieve it a lot easier if you encode it using action, exaggeration, emotion, make it illogical, make it outstanding, and that's the encoding, and you have a really great place to store it. And if you had a filing system, like the PEG method, or just like imagine a filing system in your office. You open up the files, you have a filing drawer, and then you have everything in folders. These are your mental folders. So we just created 10 new mental folders in your home that you can store any kind of information in. So let's say now you want to remember a speech, like the key points to a speech, or let's say you want to remember certain facts. Let's take, for example, my morning routine. My morning routine on how I jumpstart my super brain every single day so I could really win the day. There are about 10 things I do every single morning. All right, so let's do this together. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you my 10 things that I do every morning to kickstart my brain, my morning routine, so I could get the first hour of the day done and so I could win the rest of the day. Each time I give you one of those things, I want you to put it in your first place, the second thing in your second place, the third thing in your third place, okay? So let's learn it by doing it. What's your first place? Say it out loud. Now it's different for everybody. Say it out loud where your first place is. What I want you to remember is the first thing I do every morning is I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams because it's a powerful way to tap my creativity, my problem solving, solve a lot of things that's going on in my work, in my life. I remember my dreams. So what do you need to do? Remember, turn into a picture. You take it, put it into an image, and put it into your first place using action, exaggeration, all the vowels. Remember tip and the vowels? So what we're doing is dreams. I want you to put dreams in the first place. So what can you imagine? What can you imagine that you're doing in the first place? So let's say the first place happens to be a fireplace, right, as an example. And what can you picture for dreams? I don't know, maybe a pillow, maybe a cloud. Just imagine whatever dreams represent for you. Put that in your first place using action, exaggeration, emotion. Got it? I know you do. Let's go over to your second place. Walk over to your second place. Say out loud what your second place is. Good. The second thing I do every single morning is I make my bed. Now, how do you remember that? Just put a made bed in your second place. A made bed in your second place. And you say, hey, my second place happens to be my bed. Okay, so if that's the case, then put bunk beds there. But you want to remember bed. And here's the thing, you don't want to make it logical. If it happens to be too logical, you're not going to remember it. So remember, exaggerate. And if you're not sure what to do, what would an 8-year-old version of yourself do? How playful would that person be? Great. Walk over to your third place. Very good. The third place, the next thing that I do is I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water because at night you use up a lot of water and your brain is mostly water. And so I want to hydrate, so I drink water. So what do you picture? Put water in your third place. Now, if your third place happens to be a sink, then you have to exaggerate it, right? Exaggerate it. Put lots of water. Lots of water, water coming out of everywhere. Water, your third place. Very good. Their fourth place, what's your fourth place? Go there now. So imagine at your fourth place, do you see it? Great. Fourth thing I do is I do some quick exercise. It's not my exercise for the day, but I do a good 3-4 minutes of calisthenics. I do my super brain yoga. I do some of my different moves that you're learning during our implementation days. Maybe it's juggling stuff, but I want to get my heart rate going because as my heart rate grows, it sends more oxygen and more blood flow to my brain, which is very important also as well. So I just kind of wake up my body. So that's exercise. That's number 4. So put that in number 4. Very good. And then go to number 5. Go to number 5, your fifth place. This is the last place in your first room. Your fifth place, are you there? Let me know when you're there. Very good. For the fifth place, I want you to remember deep diaphragmatic breathing. I want you to do your breathing exercises in your fifth place. So in the fifth place, I want you to just do some, whether it's box breathing, fire breathing, alpha breathing, Wim Hof method, whatever your personal preference is, your deep breathing. I want you to do deep breathing exercises in your fifth place. And the reason why it jumpstarts your brain is because your brain is only 2% of your body weight, but it requires 20% of the nutrients and the oxygen. And so get a lot of oxygen there, feeling better, wake up your mind. Good, so deep breathing in your fifth place. Now, by the way, let's do this together. Before we go into the second room and we start on 6 through 10, go to your first place in the first room and don't tell me the place, but what's the routine? Number 1 is what? Remember your dreams. Good. Walk over to the second place, and it's what? What's in the second place? Say it out loud. Make your bed. Very good. Walk over to the third place. What do you have at your third place? Water. Lots of water. Hydration. Go to your fourth place. What are you doing there? You're exercising. Very good. And go to your fifth place, and what are you doing there? You're doing your deep breathing. You see how amazing and super your memory really is? Now, let's keep it going. Go to your sixth place, which is the first place in your second room. And for that, what I do is the next thing I do is I take a cold shower. A cold shower. And you're like, why is that good for my brain? And you're like, Jim, I loved you up to this point. Cold shower. Now, I do it personally because cold therapy for me is very healing. Like it's kind of like if you bang your knee, you put ice on it, reduces the swelling, reduces the inflammation. A lot of high performers and athletes take ice baths because it lowers inflammation in the body and in your brain. And so for me, it's a nice nervous system reset. Cold shower. So that's number 6. It's a great way to wake up also as well. It wakes you up. 6, cold shower. From there, imagine go to your 7th place. Remember, 6th place, you're taking a cold shower. So if there's a piano there, you're taking a shower inside the piano. If there is the toilet there, you got the idea, right? Number 7, the 7th thing that I do, now that I take a shower, everything, I brush my teeth. You're like, Jim, why is that? Yeah, you don't have to mention that. Of course I brush my teeth. But here's how I do it. I do it with the opposite hand. Because remember, as your body moves, your brain grooves. And when you do things that are more difficult, what was once uncomfortable becomes more comfortable because neuroplasticity. You're literally rewiring your brain because as your body moves, your brain grooves. And I do that. I brush my teeth. That's in the 7th place. Very good. Walk over to your 8th place. We're almost done. The 8th place, what am I doing there? 8th place, super brain smoothie. Super brain smoothie. Like, ooh, that sounds good. What's there? What's in it? You already know what's in it because you know my top 10 favorite brain foods, right? There's avocado in there, and there's blueberries, and there's what else? It's a little bit of coconut oil in there also as well. Maybe a little bit of almond milk. It's a very, very powerful brain smoothie. And so I make my brain smoothies. Just imagine in the 8th place, there's a blender and you're putting all those brain foods in there. Water, which is good, dark chocolate, all that good stuff in a smoothie. Now that I'm drinking my smoothie, what am I doing from there? I start writing in my journal because I notice that geniuses keep journals. And scientists, they want to know, the research is talking about, like, is it because, like, you think of Einstein, Marie Curie, Edison, Da Vinci, these journals, right? And they wonder, like, are they writing in their journal because they're geniuses? Or because they're writing in their journal, do they become geniuses also? And so I would encourage you to write in your journal. That's number 9. And finally, as we wrap this up, number 10, the 10th thing, go to your 10th place. The 10th thing is my learning. That's my learning time. And that's where I do my quest. That's where I do my quest. And so reading, but that's learning. So imagine, put your Quest app right there in the 10th place. 10th place, you're putting your Quest app to remind you to tune in to your daily quest. So for me, my 10th place is a sink. So what am I doing? I'm there on my phone doing my quest underneath the sink. Never would happen, but that's why it becomes what? Memorable. Fantastic. Now what I want you to do right now is I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down my morning routine for jumpstarting my brain. Morning routine for jumpstarting your brain. Write it down now. Okay, finish up. And even if you're not completely finished, you could pause if you'd like more time. Let's go through it together. What is the morning jumpstart your super brain routine? So you could win the morning, you'd win the day. The first thing is what? Remember your dreams. And you're like, I don't know how to remember my dreams. We'll cover that. That's coming. That's coming. Number 2, make your bed. Very good. Number 3, what's after number 2 is 3, which is water. Very good. Number 4, exercise, jumpstart your brain, which is also very good for sleep. Number 5, good, breathing, deep breathing. Number 6, cold shower. Number 7, brushing your teeth with the opposite hand. Number 8, making a super brain smoothie. Very good. Number 9, writing in your journal. And in my journal, I also put a lot of my gratitude, the things that I appreciate the most. And finally, number 10 is what? Doing your quest. That's your learning time. Very good. How's your memory? It's super. And I bet if I asked you to do it backwards, you could do it backwards also. So you could do that after this lesson. Now, here's your homework assignment. What I want you to do is I want you to teach this technique to somebody else. And this is where really, because now that you've been learning for a few weeks with me, you're no longer just the student, you become a teacher. And so I want you to play it forward, pay it forward also as well. Have fun. That's my way of saying have fun as you pay it forward. Do that because you're going to learn it better. And then the second thing I'm going to ask you to do is go into another room of your home and then do the numbers 11 through 15. And then find another room and do it from 16 to 20. And then, again, if you run out of rooms, then go outside, go into your car, go into the mall, go do your office. And the questions you might ask are things like, well, Jim, can I use a prior home that I used to live in? Absolutely. One of the homes that I use the most is a home I grew up in when I was a child, right? So you can use any home that you're familiar with, your neighborhood, any kind of walking quest. You know, the mall, the village, any kind of stores, wherever you're spending your time, you could turn it into another location. So there you have it. Teach somebody else, and then also go build out room 3 and room 4 so that you have numbers 11 through 20, because now you have 20 places you could file information. And yes, the question that you might be asking is, can I reuse these locations over and over again? And the answer is absolutely yes. I use this technique every single day, and often I'll switch out different things and you could use them over and over and over again. And you'll see that by actually doing it. So share your results as always in our community with the rest of our tribe members. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's lesson.